Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So the chaos continues. We drop below the zone, and you can see the zone by the levels that I've drawn in, and then we are basically just hanging around in this area. So yesterday was a reasonable opportunity to buy off some structure, and we'll get to that on the lower time frames. But what's happening at the moment is fairly interesting. Now, we do have a crossover of the moving averages. They did roll over to point to the upside, and we are above the 155. So nothing really indicating that we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. It's more a case of range bound. And the oscillators are pointing up. They are separating ever so slightly, but it's not as glaringly obvious as on the S&P 500. So for me, at the moment, this is still complete confusion. We break up, we make new highs, and then we just drop back below and come hover here again. And then there'll be a little bit of noise that comes out, and we'll break up and make a new high, then we'll drop back in here as the confusion continues. So if you just think of the psychology of this at the moment, it's a bit of good news, and yes, everything's fine, we're moving, and then the slightest bit of negative news all the way back here. No, we're heading for a recession and etc. So anyway, still very difficult conditions to trade. So obviously, you don't want to be doing this on the higher time frames. You definitely want to be looking at this on your lower time frames, and you're looking to take profit quickly. Anyway, looking at the 3-hour, you can see strong move down. Look at my oscillators, group the upside. We're kind of rejecting the 155, and if you actually start putting levels along diagonal levels along the bottom and along the top here, you start picking up a flag. You look to the left, you've got a strong area of potential resistance, and I can basically on the 3-hour do that. That's my zone, and when we drop down to the hour, you're going to see a little bit more. But you can see the sellers that were coming in yesterday. We got moving, and then the sellers just hovered around here. So this to me is not looking really bullish, but or bearish to be quite honest, but because we're between the moving averages here, so this is ranging. So what we need to do is to look for structural breaks. Now, don't forget to hit the like button there, drop us a comment, some great engagement that happens on the DAX. Seems like more people interested in the DAX than actually engaging on the Forex or the US market index, which is quite interesting. So if we look at the hour, yesterday trend was up, so the opportunity to buy was definitely here. And you can see we've bull dropped at 50-minute. You'll see there was an entry here as well. But you can see the minute we got into the space here, we just kind of hovered and did nothing. Look at my oscillators, overbought, hovering up here, crossing over at the moment, separating a little bit, pointing down. Nothing to write home about just yet. It's basically just ranging. Okay, so if you look left, you can see this bottom level here is kind of our bottom of range right now, and we're just hovering around here, so nothing really to write home about on the hour. Now, if you have a look on this setup here, trend was up. Just modify your position here, and you can see there was my break there was my entry. Really messy, but there was still an opportunity here, and then it immediately started going sideways. So kind of a difficult trade. A couple of pips, I think I made. It wasn't even 60 points. I think I made like 30 or 40 points. So, or pips should I rather say. So for me at the moment, you can see oscillators grouped to downside on the 15-minute. This is the area of structure that we need to be paying attention to, and that is 15,945. But essentially what we're doing is we are testing 1600 again. So let me just get there. 1600 is a fairly decent level. I'm just going to use this one here because you can see we hit 1600 after hours, and then we've sold off again, so we come back down here. I'd expect us to either find a base here or a little bit lower down on the 15-minute. There is a little swing high there which may be of interest, and you can see we fiddled with it here, but we didn't really come back and test it. So and the 155 is here, but again we're in between the moving averages, so expect us to range. There is data coming out, so it could be something that's brewing, but quite honestly I think the only thing that's brewing here is confusion. So 15929 is another opportunity, and then all the way down here, actually just drop that a little bit lower down, so you can see there is the structure there which we used as resistance. We never really came back to test it, so that's another opportunity that it could move all the way down to 15899. So yeah, complete confusion. If I look at the lower time frames, there is merit to say that there's an opportunity up. If I look at the hour, it looks like we're crossing over all the moving averages, and so this kind of chaos during the crossover is not unique. It's what's expected, and you have a big round bottom. If you start looking at the 3-hour here, you can see there's a crossover, but we're below the 155. Now remember how important this 155 EMA is. You can see there's a test of it, bounce off it, failed. We haven't really tested the break below it, so this could very well be the break below it. Now you start dropping below, kind of difficult to put a peg in the ground here because you've got all this chaos to the left. But if you start dropping below structure here, and we'll look at it again on the lower time frames, then I would argue that this flag may very well play out for another push down, and that push down could be interesting. Just look at this on the hour. You would again be held up. Let's just be conservative. You'll be held up by one of these tails here. So basically a push down into the bigger bottom of the bigger range. So that's kind of the bearish picture, but the minute you get down to the 15-minute, you're going to see there is merit to say, well, we're just ranging now. We've had a strong move up, bit of a grind up. Now we're ranging, so we're looking for structure for a break and a continuation up. So yeah, there's merit for a move either way. And for me, I think I'm leaning towards just sitting quietly and not doing anything today on this one. S&P's also is niggling me a little bit. So anyway, that's kind of my ramble for this morning. I don't think I want to be jumping in on this at the moment. I think if you start breaking these structures, these bits of structure we've got to the downside, and I'd argue that it'd be this one, 15926. So drop, retest, then I'll probably be looking for a short and aiming for 15797 area. We do have data coming out again today, so be careful. And it is coming up to the end of the month and end of the week, so you never know what that close needs to be. Anyway, that's enough for me this morning. Probably doesn't help you, but I hope it helps you somewhat, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.